Good day, everybody. This is Chris. Hope this is finding you all doing well. This is going to be a supplemental video for one of the classes I'm teaching this semester. This is a lab. This is for OEM 120/L. It's an EMT basic lab, and I'm going to be doing some supplemental instruction around dosage calculations. So as I've been grading some of the homework assignments, I've noticed that people are really struggling on dosage calculations, particularly when it pertains to administering analgesics and antipyretic agents for pediatric patients, such as what you see here, some acetaminophen, 160 milligram per 5 milliliter, or maybe ibuprofen, 100 milligram per 5 milliliter, or even ibuprofen, 50 milligram per 1.25 milliliters. So I'm going to go ahead and just take you all through a practice question, and then you can use this as a reference video to help you study and to help you get more comfortable with basic dosage calculations. So I'm going to go ahead and share this with you all. This is a practice question that I developed, and I'm just going to make this full screen. There we go. All right. So here we go. So question one, and let's go ahead and make this to where I can annotate it. All right. Question one. Okay, we will administer 10 milligrams per kilogram of ibuprofen PO per os or by mouth to a child that weighs 10 pounds. How many milligrams? What's the dose? How many milligrams will we administer? So we need to administer 10 milligrams per kilogram. So for every kilogram of body weight, we need to give 10 milligrams. So the first thing I need to do is we see that the stated weight is in pounds. I need to convert pounds to kilograms. And remember, basic conversion factor, all right, to convert from pounds to kilograms, you divide by 2.2. You divide pounds by 2.2. And to convert from kilograms to pounds, you multiply kilograms by 2.2. All right. So in this case, we're going from pounds to kilograms. So I need to divide 10 by 2.2. Pounds divided by 2.2 equals kilograms. All right. So let's just go ahead and pull our calculators up, right? And I'm going to put 10 pounds divided by 2.2. That gives me 45.54 repeating, and I'm just going to round that up. All right. So 10 pounds divided by 2.2 equals 4.55. I'm just gonna, it's 4.545454, so on and so forth. I'm just gonna round this to 4.55 kilograms. All right. So my 10-pound patient weighs 4.55 kilograms, and then I need to multiply that by 10, right? Because it's 10 milligrams for every kilogram of body weight, and there are 4.55 kilograms. So then I'm going to just put that in my calculator, multiply that by 10, and that gives me 45.5 milligrams. So I need to administer 45.5 milligrams. That's the dose, all right, in milligrams that I need to give this patient. All right, so that's part one. All right, question number two says that I have on hand 100 milligram per 5 milliliter oral suspension of ibuprofen. So that is this right here. This is what I have on hand. So I have a bottle of this, and I need to figure out how many milliliters of this do I need to give to that pediatric patient in pain or with a fever. Okay, that's what this is asking. So I have 100 per 5 oral suspension on hand. How many milliliters, right? Because there are 100 milligrams in every 5 milliliters. All right, because at the end of the day, I need to pull a certain volume of this out in milliliters, right? And every 5 milliliters of this contains 100 milligrams of the medication. And I need to figure out how many milliliters to give. So this is a basic dosage calculation. And remember how to set these up. All right. Over here on the left-hand side, I'm going to put, what do I know? All right. What do I know for a fact? I know for a fact, because I'm literally looking at it, that I have 100 milligrams in 5 milliliters. That's my concentration. I know that for a fact. So what I know is I know I have a drug that has 100 milligrams per 5 milliliters, every 100 milligrams in every 5 milliliters. All right. And I want, on the right side, what do I want to know? Well, I want to know how many milliliters to give my patient, right? And I know what the dose is. So if I have milligrams on top, I need to have milligrams on top here. So my dose goes over here, 45.5 milligrams. That's the dose over X milliliters, right? That's what I want to know right there. How many milliliters am I giving my patient if I have 100 milligram per 5 milliliters? So this is the drug over here, the drug concentration, and this is the dose and volume that I'm going to administer, all right, over on the right-hand side. So what do I know for a fact, and what do I want to know? All right, and so how do we solve this problem? We cross multiply top to bottom and bottom to top. So 100 multiplied by x is 100x equals, and then 500 multiplied by 45.5. So let me put that in my calculator, times 5, 227.3. It's 0.27. I'm going to round up just a bit. So it's 227.3. And then I need to get x all by itself. And so what I need to do is I need to divide by 100 here, right? And that cancels out, and then I have x by itself. But what do I do to one side of an equation? I have to do to the other side of the equation. So I need to divide this by 100 as well. So that 227.3 divided by 100 gives me 2.3, all right, or 2.27. If you round up, you could go to 2.3, but we'll do 2.27. So x equals 2.3 or 2.27, right? But 2.3, we'll round that up, milliliters. So this says, and before I choose this as my final answer, let's just see if this passes a smell test. This says here, if I give 2.3 milliliters of this solution, I will have given my patient 45.5 milligrams. Does that pass a smell test? Well, I know that there are 100 milligrams in every 5 milliliters. So there must be 50 milligrams in 2.5 milliliters, and I'm giving slightly less than 50 milligrams, and 2.3 milliliters would be slightly less than 2.5. So that does seem to pass the smell test, and that seems to be a reasonable volume, and that is in fact the correct answer. All right. And then part 3 for this question is a different concentration. So let me just go ahead and get rid of these annotations here. All right. So part 3 here says you now have 50 milligrams per 1.25 milliliters. All right. Instead of 100 milligrams in 5 milliliters. All right. So I have 50 milligrams. So I have this right here. Ibuprofen, 50 milligrams in 1.25 milliliters, as opposed to 100 milligrams in 5 milliliters. So I have a different concentration, which means I need to do a different calculation. All right. So again, what do I know for a fact? I know for a fact that I have 50 milligrams of ibuprofen in every 1.25 milliliters of solution if I'm using this. Oops, there you go. And what do I want to know? Well, I want to give my patient 45.5 milligrams. That's the dose we calculated in part 1. And I want to know how many milliliters of that medication to give. All right, so 50. So remember, cross multiply. 50 times x is 50x. So top to bottom and then bottom to top. So 1.25. So let me go ahead and put that in my calculator there. 1.25 multiplied by 45.5 gives me 56.875. I'm going to round that to 56.9. Okay. I just rounded fit. So what I literally got is 56.875. I just rounded that to 56.9. And then remember, I need to get X by itself. So I'm going to divide this side by 50. And then that X is going to fall down. But remember, what I do to one side, I also have to do to the other. So 56.9, I'm going to divide that by 50. And that is going to give me just a little over 1. So it's going to be 1.1. I'm going to round 1.1375. I'm just going to round 1.14 milliliters. And before I say this is my final answer, let's just see if that passes a smell test. All right. Does that pass a smell test? So 1.25 milliliters would equal 50 milligrams, right? And I need to give 45.5 milligrams, so slightly less than 50 milligrams. And so I need to give something that's slightly less than 1.25 milliliters. And the answer I got is 1.14, right? That's just slightly less than 1.25 milliliters. That seems to make sense. That's passes the smell test. And so that is, in fact, the proper answer. Okay, everyone, I'm going to cut it off here. And hopefully you found this exercise helpful. And please use this, follow along as you encounter questions, and use this video to help you set up questions. And you should get the proper answer every time if you do this exactly like I'm showing you here. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care, and we'll see you in lab.